Thank you for coming to Deb Chanel's 48th World, where we do recaps and reviews on reality shows, soap operas, and shopping hauls, and etc., etc., etc. And thank you. We're going to be going over The Young and the Restless today that aired on Wednesday, May 11, 2016. Let me give you a summary. Victor baits Adam to go after Newman Enterprises. Nick catches Sharon off guard, and Billy and Phyllis share a changed moment. Okay, we're going to go get right on into that subject today, that episode. The first scene was with Adam and Victor. Adam is telling his dad what is going on. Adam knows he has another plan in action. He knows he has it going on, and he wants to know what it is. And if he don't tell him, he's gonna bug him until he pretty much figures it out himself, because he knows something is going on. Victor is nonchalant. He don't know what he's talking about, but he is letting him know, the position's up for grabs now. I don't know what he called himself doing with Nicholas. I guess because Nicholas is so in a fall with his wife passing, and then shortly before that his son had passed, and it's just up in the air, just really up in the air with him. So he's saying, okay, I might need to have my other son step in. So he's throwing him a little fishing rod line to see if he's going to take the bait. But anyway, we move on from there. We go to Sharon, Nicholas, and Faith. Nicholas is bringing Faith back from an outing they were both at. He's telling Sharon he can't take it anymore. He can't fake the funk. He's not happy. He can't make like he's happy. When he tries, it just makes him a little bit more depressed. And he's asking for Sharon to take over the majority of his time that he shares jointly with Sharon, and for the Guardian of Faith, because they share custody, joint custody. But he just feels like he don't want to be around kids. He really don't want to be around anybody, because the only thing he really wants to do is go crawl up next to Faith. Crawl up next to Sage in the grave. So that puts it very bluntly that he could give two shits about life at this point. And anybody else telling him, oh, it's going to be okay, or just wait for a while, things will come back together, this, that, and that. He's tired of hearing that shit. So he's basically begging Sharon to keep Faith away from him, at least to now, because he don't want to be bothered with nobody. And Sharon is pretty much telling him, you can't put yourself in seclusion. That's not a good thing. Why don't you come on over and spend a little bit more time with Southern? And then he goes on and round about with it, and he don't even quite understand why a little baby would do him justice when it's not his, But she goes almost to tell him. And she just waits again, and she just tell him, you can't just isolate yourself. I won't let you isolate yourself. I won't let you shut down and try to disappear from us. You have family who wants to see you, and you shouldn't be like that. So we leave for that scene, and Faith, like I said, he was just bringing her home from an outing, and she went into another room, or went to her room to do something, I don't know, or maybe to see her baby brother. Who knows? Faith has a mind of her own these days. So we go to Mariah and Kevin. Mariah's telling Kevin she tried to reach out to Nicholas, but he haven't returned a phone call yet. And pretty much I think she just wanted to talk to Kevin. She didn't really have to give him that information. But since he was there, she thought she would lean on his shoulder and then a little bit to him. And at the moment he seemed kind of interested. Then, shortly after, Natalie came up while they were talking amongst themselves and said cheese, and she just clicked the camera in front of their faces. And of course Mariah didn't care too much for that, and she let her know prior to her leaving. But Natalie has a surprise. She's telling both of them she just bought this new camera because she's getting ready to go to Africa and be a part of one of their safari type things. I don't know if it's weekly, bi-weekly, or for a whole month. But anyway, she got a she got a round trip ticket to Africa in a safari adventure. But she didn't really say when she was coming back. So she was real excited about that. And so Mariah being the kind of person she is, and she likes to have Kevin all to herself, and she don't want no competition. But her mama tried to tell her how to handle that situation. But anyway, it is what it is. She leaves abruptly and brutally, and leave them there talking to themselves. We go to Jack and Phyllis. Jack is telling Phyllis someone has hacked his credit card account and went and paid $900 for some pair of tennis shoes. And he's just crazy. And she said, what? How does that happen? You're supposed to be password protected with that passkey project we were working on for protection for, everything. Software, preventive, to make it hard for thieves to do that type of thing. So, it's like red alert, that passkey ain't doing what it's supposed to be doing. So, of course, Jack tells Phyllis to get on it, because if that leaked out, they would have pandemonium on their hands. Okay, so we leave there. We go to Billy and Victoria. Victoria is asking Billy to get out of her office, get out of her chair, get out of her life, pretty much. And Billy's asking her, well, you're running a little late. You didn't have the kids last night because I had them. So who were you with last night? And she goes on to tell him, my private life is no longer your concern. And he pretty much told her that last night, but she didn't get the gist of it. So basically, she's throwing it back in his face. We go to commercial. We come back. We're on Sharon and Nicholas. Sharon is asking Nicholas to spend some time with baby Sully. Sharon goes on to tell Nick, I guess, the truth about, who the baby is. But before she could get it out, because, she's slow as hell, get it out her mouth, there's a knock at the door. She goes to see who's at the door, and there goes Mariah. So Mariah comes in. Her and Sharon have, a few words. She's asking her mom why basically, she comes in the door. She sees Nick. She tells Nick that she tried to call him, but he didn't call her back. And she goes in to give him a hug. He said, I know, I've been trying. I've just been having a hard time with everything. So charge it to my head, not my heart, sweetheart. And, this, that, and that. I've been trying to tell your mama to keep faith for me, because I'm not really wanting to be around, anybody. And then Sharon, excuse me, butts in, trying to tell him that he needs to spend some time with Sully. And Mariah looking like, why would she spend time with a child that's not his mom? But she ain't saying it, but she thinking it. And she basically gonna tell her mom that after Nick leaves. But Nick go on to give the women time to talk to themselves, and that was a good way for him to get out the house from Sharon. Keep trying to bombard him with, constant issues about him spending more time with the family. He needs to spend more time with the family. He needs to spend time more with Sully as well as Faye. But he bounced on out of there. That was a good save by Mariah coming over. But anyway, after he leaves, then, what's her name? Faye comes in. Faye gives her big sister a hug, and she's, all loving on her and everything. And then they get to talking for a minute, and Faith goes in to say, Dad is not coping very well with the death of Sage. And she understands. But she just don't want him to be sad. And she really feels that her daddy was being overly nice to her today, because he's still sad. And she kind of noticed that. I said, God dog, if that damn sad. I mean, that damn Faith ain't, what do you call it? Not, she have a premonition, but she's very intuitive with everything in her surroundings. Kudos parents for raising that girl. But anyway, they pretty much dismiss her. Mariah tells her to go and draw her a picture, give her a latest update of some of her creations, because she's been missing it. Of course, she's just trying to get rid of the child. But Faith buys it, and she goes on into her artistic, creative mind and try to whip up her sister something. And then that's when Mariah goes in to tell Sharon, what the hell are you doing, Mama? Mama, why are you trying to pawn Sully off on Dad and Nick? Why you going there? What's up with that? So of course, she didn't really give her any good excuse, so we just move on. We go back to Jack and Phyllis. Jack is telling Phyllis to get a hold of her prodigy child and fix that passkey situation ASAP. And don't call them until she's gotten, the word that she definitely have pretty much solidified that situation. Okay, we go on to Victoria and Billy. Victoria's asking, how are the kids doing? Billy is telling her also about Fiona and the damage she did when she pretty much tried to toss her out the house and did toss her out the house without putting hands on her. He went on and told her that the Dillman's deal is a bust. She ain't doing business with me, and she ain't doing business with Jack. But little do Billy knows, Jack done rectified the situation. Jabot got their shelf space, but he's just out. We go back to Adam and Victor. Adam is asking, why did you send Dr. Gates to the funeral on your behalf? And, you know, he goes on and talk to his dad about it. Then he started putting pieces together. Because he said, I know I've seen that lady somewhere. And she was at a charitable function, her and her father. And her father happened to be on the judicial review board that's holding you in jail, Dad. Elijah, stop it. And then, you know, she said, now, Dr. Gates, that's her father. Oh, man, you trying to use her to get out of jail, Dad? Is that what you doing? I'm like, goddamn, Adam hit that on the head. He hit the nail on the head. But then he said, you cooking up a plan, Dad, to get yourself out of here. Early release. You want her dad to show you some leniency? What are you doing? I don't understand, Dad. You got 10 years up in here. You trying to get 2? Time served? What is it? Come on, tell me, because I know what you up to. You trying to use that poor lady. And, you know, of course, Victor trying to shut him down because he's pretty much on that road. He don't want to find out too much, though. So we go to a commercial. We come back. We on Fiona and Jack. Jack is having lunch with Miss Fiona. He's definitely got her interested. And he's pretty much begging and pleading with her about not, you know, cutting ties with them. They both been in business for a while. He was even saying he could make it worth her while. And she's pretty much saying, the only reason I cut business ties with y'all, because y'all got too much personal stuff going on. And I'm serious about that. And so, you know, he goes on to assure her that's all Billy. Billy has no interest whatsoever. We're not causing any more destruction. They're not even dealing with him. They cut ties. And, you know, pretty much he won't have no more issue. So, you know, basically, you know, come on now. You know, give us our space back. So she heartily agrees with him. And she goes on and say, okay, as long as Billy is nowhere in the equation, you got our deal. Your deal is still sacred with us. We're going to be loyal, and we're going to uphold whatever agreement we have, and, you know, more money to both our pockets in the future. So she pretty much leaves. They shake hands, and that's it. We go to Victoria and Billy. Billy is wanting to get her help with Fiona. He think, you know, you busted up this deal. You need to go to her and beg and plead, you know, for her to put our product back on the shelf. She said, oh, well, you could sell Brash and Sassy back to me, but I would not be talking to Miss Fiona. Why would I do that? I don't even like her. She don't too much care for us. So what's what? So he knows he's pretty much shot down there, so he's going to have to try another avenue, because she ain't giving up nothing. So we move on to Mariah and Sharon again. Mariah's just trying to tell her mom to leave it alone. But Sharon says she can't let Nicholas be out there. She can't let him shut up. She can't let him shut down. You know, she got to be with other people. And that's what she's going to be doing, making sure he's with people. So we leave there. We go to Natalie, Kevin, and Phyllis. Phyllis is telling Natalie, because she's found her. She's made several phone calls to her. But for some reason, Miss Natalie don't feel like she need to answer her phone when she see that line or that name come up in her cell phone. Phyllis goes on to say she needs her to get back to work because there is a breach in the system with Passkey, and only she knows her system because she made it. And pretty much she's kind of pleading with her, but she's doing nice nasty. She's keep trying to throw lawyers and freezing up some of her money and all this, that, and the other. And how she's talking, hell, she got money on her. You can try to mess with her bank accounts, this, that, and the other, but it ain't gonna work because she got money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She got money where she can pull from here, there, and everywhere. So you can do what you gotta do. This little girl, she young in the game, y'all. She about 20-something, early 20s, and she commanding that respect as well as the authority, and where she can pick and choose. And she, you know, she said, hell, I don't give a shit. I came for nothing. You know, I can go back to nothing. At least I got my career. And matter of fact, I got enough money to tie them up in court too. It could just be a long battle of uselessness while, you know, their Passkey thing is, you know, creating a habit for all their constituents. So it don't make no, never mind to me. Elijah, stop it. And so, you know, they just be going battling, and then, you know, Phyllis is trying to tell Kevin to talk to her because she can make it nice, nasty, and real nasty, and real nasty, and real nasty. And he's quite aware of that because she's been on his behind a couple of times in the past. And, he's like, yeah, maybe we could just go on and see what's hanging it up. Because I ain't doing nothing. They bought the product. They fired me. They didn't want me then. I already done told them I ain't with them no more. When Michael trying to get me to come back and do maintenance on it, I told him no then too. So they can kiss my ass, okay? So Kevin was like, okay, shit, let's bounce then. That's how you feel about it. So they pretty much left Phyllis in the cold. Left her standing there, and it is what it is. Okay, we go on to Adam and Victoria. I'm sorry, Adam and Victor. Adam is saying to Victor, you're staging a jailbreak. Victor says, if that is true, then why aren't you using this to your advantage? And I was like, well, damn, he sure put him in check. We go to a commercial, y'all. We come back. We back with Fiona and Jack. Let me see. Okay, yeah, we did go over that. But before I should have dismissed when I was talking about Fiona and Jack, and she's solidifying the agreement that she's going to actually let them continue doing business with Dillman's. She did give Jack a little FYI. She wanted to know what was pretty much going on between her brother and his wife. And she was going on telling him that she slapped Billy. And then, Jack in Tales gives her explanation that his wife did tell him that, but it was personal business about wanting him to get back into the fold and this, that, and the other, but he refused to, so they cut ties. So she said, oh, okay, all right. And she go on and let me see if I got another set. Pretty much she go on and tell Jack, look, I know what you're saying, but you need to watch your wife. You need to watch her actions, okay? And it stuck with Jack, so we just gonna be finished with that situation. So then we go to Natalie, Kevin, and Phyllis. Phyllis goes back on into Natalie. Well, I covered that too, pretty much. About bleeding her dry. Yeah, okay. So we're really pretty much through with Kevin and Phyllis and Natalie and that passkey issue. So we're gonna go to Sharon, Mariah, and Faith. Sharon is telling her daughter, you're jealous. Because, she's still over there for another reason why she came over to see her mother prior to Nicholas leaving so they could have girl talk. And she said, no, I'm not jealous. I'm more so hurt. I think that's pretty much the same when you're talking about a guy that you care for. Okay, Miss Mariah? Honey. But, Nicholas, Sharon was trying to give her pretty much, this is how you need to deal with it, and you pretty much need to go. So she got some good advice from her. I think she's going to try to apply it on Kevin, but then she's going to see something that makes her go another way. But we'll get into that when we get a chance. Okay, we go to Adam and Victoria. Victoria is congratulating Adam on running we're going to Adam and Victor. And Victor's being kind of nice, nasty. He's congratulating Adam on running a fashion line. He said, I didn't know you went to school to be a businessman. I think it was Harvard he went to, or Princeton, well-known, solidified Ivy League school for business. Graduated top of your class. We know you can do business because you ran my business before. And now I hear you're right. You don't fare well, way off the wagon. Don't went into apparel type fashion running, and not even a big fashion house. He said it's kind of beneath you, isn't it, son? He's trying to throw digs there, but he, taking up for his wife, and that yes, he could take his wife's company into stratosphere, Capote way out there in orbit. But that, hey, don't try to deflect, Dad. You know where I'm going with you. Let's stay on one path, okay? But, of course, Victor got to get his dig some more, and that's pretty much how they go back and forth. So we leave there. We go to Nicholas, Victoria, and Billy. Nicholas has just come back from the office from leaving Sharon, and he sees them both in there arguing with one another again. He tells them to both just stop the crap that they're doing, to work out their situation before it's too late. Meaning he's saying, anybody can get in a car accident, anybody can get diagnosed with a deadly disease, and you just have weeks, hours, few years to be with each other instead of wasting all this time bickering back and forth. You obviously wouldn't love each other you obviously still love each other because you're bickering. When somebody you don't give a shit about, don't care if you didn't see them again, you don't even waste 2 cents wasting your breath trying to, create an argument with them. And sometimes that's what married folks that, well, ex-husband and wives or ex-girlfriends and boyfriends that have kids together. Behind their drop them kids, be like, deuces, I don't have anything for them. Meaning there is no love lost if I have a conversation with you ever again in my lifetime, or if I do. It could go either way. Either way, I'm not going to give you that much time. You understand what I'm saying? I'm definitely not going to have an argument with you that shows that I care, because I don't. You know what I'm saying? So he was saying with the energy that they take, they need to invest that into going to counseling and working out their differences, because it's evident that they still care about each other. But of course, both of them say, no, that ain't it. He's misreading everything and this, that, and the other. But he ain't misread nothing. Y'all just too selfish and what do you call it, obstinate to try to even recognize what's going on. But anyway, we move back to Mariah, Faith, and Sharon. Faith is letting them both know that she can't help by herself cheering up her daddy. She needs everybody. Daddy needs hugs and kisses from everybody in the family. And I think we're big enough family that we can give that to him. So I'm like, God, that girl intuition is together. Oh, wait, again, kudos again to Faith family and her acting skills. Oh my Lord, they on point. But anyway, we go from there, and then Sharon goes on to tell Mariah she don't want to lose anyone else. That's pretty much why she deflecting again, but Mariah buys it for whatever reason. And then Mariah gets off her behind about, the Nick thing and him spending more time with baby Sully. So she shortly leaves she shortly leaves from her mother's house as well. So then we leave there. We go back to Adam and Victor. Adam is calling his dad despicable of all the actions he's done since he's been in the Newman clan in Genoa City. Victor's telling him the same. So that's mutual agreed upon. Victor's telling Adam to go get his chair and run his company. He also tells Adam he needs to never think he can outsmart him ever again, because he don't have the skills, the talents, or the determination to go there. Okay, so Dr. Gates, Adam storms out, or Victor pretty much is through with him, and he has to guard to come in and let him back there where he normally will be residing, or to let Adam out. Each one of them, don't matter what comes first, just make something happen. So basically, Dr. Gates comes in after she sees Adam leaving. She's just being nosy, y'all. She wants to know what's going on, what happened, why did Adam leave so abruptly, what did you say? Child, please. We go from there to Jack and Fiona. Fiona's telling Jack, about, okay, we went over that. We went to Shelf Spades. Okay, told him watch out for Bill. Okay, then we go to commercial, guys. And then we go to Victoria and Nicholas. Victoria tells Nicholas he's not handling his grief well. Nicholas is pretty much telling her she's not handling her marriage well. And it's pretty much is what it is. He's not going anywhere. He said he's not taking any more sick leave, no bereavement leave. He ain't doing none of that. He's just coming to work because he'd rather be at work around people versus being at home, everything being silent. And he knows Sage is not coming back. He don't have a baby to hold from her. It's just not going to be a doable thing. So he prefers to be at work. So then we go to Adam has walked in after they briefly had that conversation. He's going in telling them he visited his dad at the prison site, and he's basically trying to give them the rundown on what he learned from dear old dad at the prison cell. So we go to Victor and Dr. Gates. Victor is making his moves on Dr. Gates again. He's wanting her to reach out to her father to reconcile their differences. Just reconcile it, period. No more excessive holding on to bitterness and this, that, and that. Just go on. So pretty much Victor is using psychology on the doctor, and I don't understand why she's not smart enough to understand that. Okay, we go back to Billy and Phyllis. Phyllis is telling him pass key. Well, she pretty much called Billy to come to her at the park or whatever, and they're discussing pass key. And she's telling him the bigger issues she's having and the issues that happened with Jack, and somebody breaching security to be able to use his credit card, whatever, But since he brought Natalie into her in her world, in a sense, where she gave her the okay to build the software program that they're actually using and their constituents are using, he can't get through to her. And she was thinking that maybe he could. And he's like, I ain't got no control. I ain't on nobody's team. It's definitely not yours because, y'all fired me. So I have nothing to say about that. So then we go to Natalie and Kevin. Kevin is asking Natalie to see things from another perspective. We could go on and try to help them out. She shut him down. And, he starts like listening to her valid argument, and then he's like, well, okay, you can have that all. You're beautiful, you're talented, this, that, and that. And she said, wait a minute, what you said beautiful? He said, yeah, you're beautiful. Then they just start kissing. So then we go to a commercial. We come back from the commercial. We're on Mariah. Mariah finds Kevin after seeing him kissing Natalie. Whatever she was going to tell him, I think she really was going to tell him that she loved him. She wants to try again, this, that, and the other. But after seeing him kissing on Natalie, she comes in, interrupts them both, and she tells Kevin that she had to tell him something, but she's so mad, honey. She just pulled off the keys of the apartment or house that they were sharing together, and she just gave him the key, like, honey, I'm moving out. I ain't got time for you no more. So then our last and final scene, we go to Billy and Phyllis. Phyllis is telling him that their family, the company, could be in huge jeopardy unless he convinced Natalie to help with the passkey issue. She goes on and grabs his hand in a loving way, kind of sexual, guys. And she don't know her husband is sitting in the back. And he's taking it all in, and then he's thinking about what Fiona had told him about his wife's indiscretions. In a light way. She was pretty much letting him figure it out for himself. But he didn't really like what he saw. And of course, honey, the idle mind is a devil workshop, honey. You plant a seed there, and then you giving certain aspects of something going close to what you were already thinking. Woo, honey. Your mind can have a field and be playing tricks on you all the same time. But anyway, that was the end of that episode of The Young and the Restless that aired on today, Wednesday, May 11, 2016. I'm hoping you all enjoyed the narration, because I enjoyed giving it to you play by play, blow by blow, and telling you, is it worth looking at? Yes, it is, girls and gentlemen. Yes, it is. It was a good scene. You have to pick and choose what you had to kiki on, and some things you just want to take your shoe off and throw at the TV. Like you want to strangle that particular character that you love on the show. But like I said, it was good. I'll be back here tomorrow, God willing, doing the same thing again and again. Throwing my little perspective, adding my own little commentary in it too as well. But you all be blessed. Have a nice evening. And I will see you tomorrow for more of The Young and the Restless for Thursday, May 12th. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.